time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Happy last day of 2024, everybody. Brent Wallace, Jason York, bringing you Coming In Hot, brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Yorkie, do you have plans for this evening?
Yeah, ordering sushi, and we're staying home. we still got Margot. So you don't bring an 8-month out to a restaurant on New Year's Eve. Or not that she's really good. But no, we're gonna chill here. We're gonna have some sushi, and we're probably not gonna make it till midnight. We're up at 4. Well, he was up at 4:20 today. Well, kind of up. 4:20.
Yorkie up early.
Yeah.
I'll be at the Canada USA game with my son Ryan. So we'll at least he'll be home alone, and then then we'll come home. That'll be it.
Every time I think of Home Alone, I think of that. Hey, listen, I was excited. We've got a treat for people later. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but I saw what we were working on in the green room before. This is going to be funny.
You weren't supposed to see it because we were just having some technical glitches with it, but
God.
We will unveil it soon as our Mendez mailbag is back for the show. So we had to make something ready for Ian, who's joining us. He was up early to make sure that he didn't miss the show, unlike his current athletic writer, his replacement.
Oh, yeah. Good luck getting in the good guys club there, William. This new generation. I guess 9 a.m. the new 6 a.m. you and I are getting up at 5, and who sets an alarm for 9 a.m.?
I don't know. Never. I don't need one anymore. I'm too old. All right. Before we bring on Ian, let's just quickly take care of some business. And then I know he's waiting. He's got lots of stuff going on. Just had a birthday. He's got a ring in the new year. He's probably got a big party planned. This show is always proudly presented to you by Charm Diamond Centers. Over 85 locations across the country since 1973 to Charm and their sister brands. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program and an unbeatable pricing policy. Check out the large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds, mine diamonds, and don't pay until 2025 with their instant in-store financing on approved credit. And of course, Gabriel Pizza, our huge pizza sponsors. We're always proud to have them in the show. Don't forget, if the Sens score 4 tonight against the Dallas Stars, then tomorrow you can score a 9-inch pizza, 40% off. Don't forget, download the Gabriel Pizza app and use Pizza Perks. Get all kinds of free stuff. Plus, don't forget the incredible breakfast they have. All right. So before we bring on Mendez, we're bringing you on anyway. Never mind.
Jeez.
Hello. Hi, how you doing?
Holy cow. I didn't even realize I'd be just popping on there.
We run a tight ship here. We get right to it. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Okay, don't say anything. But I spent hours yesterday.
This isn't supposed to go this way. He just appeared. It's like magic.
Yeah.
Ian this is the part where Ian runs the show. And by the way, if you have questions for Ian, start putting them in the chat and we will get to them. He has figured out how to use the chat in the StreamYard platform. Okay.
Yeah.
Ian, we have made you something we get you your own opener. It's a low budget thing. I don't want to oversell this. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like an SNL skit. It's like, well, you'll see. It's got that feeling to it.
Andy, let it go.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
I want to see Ian like leap up in the air like that, and the feet go up, and then you see the heels kick up,
and then it like freeze frames on me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, yes.
That'd be good.
Okay. Well, that sets the tone. The mailbag. This is the thing I miss the most. Like, there's a lot of things I miss about the journalism side of being a writer. when I was with the Athletic and doing the mailbag, like that's the thing I miss the most. So I appreciate the ability to kind of come here and do a quasi mailbag here. Different form, but it's my favorite thing.
You could have just said thank you, by the way.
I could have. Okay. Can we, by the way, what was that photo of me in like a red windbreaker?
That's the Olympics. That's you and I watching one of the hockey games. I think that's the gold medal women's game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holding your BlackBerry. Did you notice that?
I noticed it's a BlackBerry. That's it was era appropriate. The BlackBerry was era appropriate.
Yeah.
I the best one though is that power handshake with Menendez right there and Michael Landauer. Oh boy. That's when it all started. That's when it all started.
Oh my God. Look, can we just, there is a little bit, we'll call it an elephant in the room here.
Okay.
And Matt has brought this up in the chat, which is, can we bring Danger Flutes back? Danger Flutes, of course, for those people who don't know, that's the Senators, the old trumpeters, the theme song. Right?
Oh, yes.
You know, and I'll tell you, it is so, this is, you know, like when you talk to people and they're like, they're split on whether or not they like cilantro. And like half the people are like, I love cilantro. And the other half are like, this tastes like soap.
Yeah.
This is Danger Flutes. We've got half the people who love it and they're so passionate, and half the people are like, nope, time for a change. So I'm curious before, and I want to hear from people in the chat, but I want to hear from you guys. You guys missed the, you know, the
So,
and that was my.
I'll give you my answer.
By the way,
I didn't like them for the longest time. Now that they're gone and they only play it right at the beginning of the game, I hate it. I want the Danger Flutes back.
You do?
Yeah, bring them back.
Yeah.
I don't. Hell's Bells is okay. The phony ringing of the bell is okay. Not a big fan of it. I don't like all the nonsensical different music choices leading up to dropping of the puck. Just give me the Danger Flutes.
Give me the Danger Flutes.
You're key. Now, you would be one of the people who could actually talk about this from a player's perspective. So, like, tell me, like, were the guys amped up to come out onto the ice and it was Danger Flutes?
No. I'll tell you what, I was amped up to come out on the ice too. When they had the woohoo towels. Woohoo! Like there we're talking about some amped up ability when you got those woohoo towels.
Okay, but not every game can be a playoff game.
No, I know. So yeah, because you got to find that happy medium, right? I'll tell you, you know what I do like? I think the World Juniors I like life, or live as life is life.
Hang on. That's a goal song. We're talking about, will you just stay on topic? We're coming out onto the ice to start the game.
Give me we need a little sample of this. I think we all need to digest it for a second, have a proper discussion about it.
No, we all know. How do you not know?
Because I
Mendes,
don't know.
excuse us for a moment.
I'm gonna get it on my phone here so I can have a little listen to Danger Flutes.
It wasn't that long ago in The Athletic, by the way. Mendes wrote an article about the guy who wrote Danger Flutes. It's a great story. I want to read it.
Is Cotton Eye Joe still playing in the rink? That's what I want to know.
I don't think so.
Okay, thank God.
I feel it has been, but maybe that's only because I've heard it at different sporting venues. But I think it's been played once. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so Yorkie, do you know what we're talking about yet?
I'm getting it on my phone right now.
Mendes, he played.
There you go.
I know, that's why I asked him.
So there's your answer. I'll know it in a second. It's just not ringing a bell. Here we go.
No, they ring the bell before.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah. Now, okay, yeah. I know that song. I just didn't know it was called Danger Flutes. Like
that's why I specifically gave a disclaimer.
Like, I'm a hockey player, and they're saying to me, "Hey, you guys want to come out to Danger Flutes?" I'm like, but now that I've heard it, yeah, I don't mind that. It's got some history to it.
Yeah,
I like the history.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Well, I bet if you put up a poll, it would be somewhat down there. And so this is the problem. And this is the thing is like, you know, sometimes you talk to people at the games, it'll be like, the music's too loud or the PA is too loud, and then you hear other people like, I got to turn it up. It's like,
yes. Nobody's ever like, you'll never make everybody happy, which is you try and you're like, that really loud minority makes it tough sometimes.
But what we as an organization have to, like, you have to listen to, like, even if it's, you know, you call it a vocal minority or whatever, you got to listen to them. Like, I always look at it this way. Like, we're not the New York Yankees. We're not the LA Lakers. We're not, you know, one of these, like, we have a smaller group of fans, and we got to treat each and every one of them like gold. All, and even if they have an idea that you don't love or they're passionate, just listen to them and create. And this is why I love this opportunity to come here and to do this, is that hopefully we'll get a little bit of traction on something. And this has always been my philosophy, guys, is I don't know how many people we have working in the Senators, you know, front. Let's call it 200 people ballpark that work for the Ottawa Senators.
That's just under you.
That's right. That's under my comms department is 200 people. But what's the population of Ottawa Gatineau? 1 million and change, 1.1, whatever. Let's call it a million. Statistically speaking, somebody with a great idea is going to be outside of our walls, right? Like, just statistically, like there's a million people outside and 200 people inside.
Our show a lot of
arrogant. We can't be so arrogant as to think that we have the answers when the math tells you somebody on the outside is going to have the answer for traffic, game day entertainment, PR, media, food, whatever. Like, somebody somewhere is going to have a $1 billion idea, and these are our opportunities to actually take a pause, listen. And I don't know, Danger Flutes, I probably shouldn't have started with it because it's a really divisive one. And although we did teach Yorkie what Danger Flutes was, right? Like,
I knew the song, but I'm like, Danger Flutes is not, when I hear the song title, is not getting me fired up. Ooh, okay, Danger Flutes is coming.
You know what? And we'll take some more. Can I just pass on a really funny? So early in the year, we had a contest to, like, name a signature cocktail inside the arena. And a whole bunch of fans, this is why I think Ottawa fans are the best. Whole bunch of people wrote in and submitted the name for the cocktail should be Danger Fruits. Like, this is what I'm saying. People are so smart. We just have to listen to them.
You and I can appreciate that for sure.
The only thing I find, and this is from years of experience, the people that always voice their opinions are always the minority. It's the people that usually don't. It's how do you get to the people that usually don't say anything? Because those people, there's a lot of those people around. How do you get to those people? Like, you send them a survey, like, because, you know.
I mean, we do run constant surveys, right? Like for people who come to games and things like that. But like this, but I think, like, this is a great opportunity too, right? Is that your viewers and your listeners are the types of people that are so authentically engaged in the product. Yeah. All you want is this to be better. That's like, even if you're angry at the organization, it's just because you love the team, right?
Yeah. Can you add more concessions at the top of the 300 level?
So are you talking about
the standing room area?
The standing room only.
It's just dull, and it's like Death Valley through there.
So do you remember this years ago, Wally? And I'd have to go back. Like, this is while you and I were covering the team. I'm going to say 6 years ago, 7 years ago, there was talk, and I don't know that it ever happened, but was there not talk of them bringing, like, food trucks up to that level? Or did they? Maybe somebody with a better memory than you and I, that they were going to bring food trucks in, that they would have to bring them in kind of in, like, obviously bringing them up on the freight elevator wouldn't have worked, but, like, there was a way they were talking about this. No. Do you remember this? Or did I just have a few?
Were they covering the seats with tarps at the time?
Jeez, when was that? Like 2018, 19? Like, it might have been before that. But, like, my question is, would there be space for that? I think so, right?
I think, I mean, I'm sure exits are all taken into consideration in traffic flow. I walked through there this year, and I'm like, it's nothing. It's just empty, and there's no excitement level.
Before we get into the mail, we should take a vote on Danger Flute. So see where us three stand here. So where, Wally?
I already voted. I'm in favor. Play the Danger Flutes.
Mendes?
I'm the fence sitter on this one. I am just sitting back and listening.
Oh, you're just wait. You're bringing in ideas.
I'm bringing in ideas. And Yorkie, you're in.
I like the history part of it. I like the history. I think history is important, so I like that part. I would like something to get me going a little bit better, though. So I'm kind of on the fence. I'm on the fence.
Okay, do you really need to have a song when you come out?
I like
to
a
start
good
a
song,
hockey
man.
game.
Yes, I like a good
I
tune.
think so, don't you?
Okay, here I'll give you a great example.
Shouldn't it be coming out to a crowd being here, like, ladies and gentlemen, the Ottawa Senators, whatever? Like, does that not pump you up enough?
Yeah, but a good song.
you know,
There's something to be said for a good song.
Man, I always think about Vancouver when I was, and I think Wally, you covered them a bit in that Stanley Cup run era of 2010 to 2012. And you would get goosebumps to the back of your neck at, I think it was GM Place at the time, Rogers Arena now, where they would play U2's The Streets Have No Name.
Montreal.
Right?
Yes.
Or you think of the Chicago Bulls back in the day. It can do something really sort of
galvanize.
Yeah, galvanize, sort of visceral to the fans that are in there that you're ready to go. So I do think you need a song.
Yeah, that's a great point. So when I was doing the Montreal broadcast for 3 years, it'd be up in the booth there, and the Canadians would come out to that U2 song. And
Canadians would do Coldplay.
Coldplay. I always get those two. But I love how the song, it kind of builds. It starts soft and it builds and it builds and it builds, and everyone's getting jacked up, and then it's timed perfectly for when the players come on the ice and everyone's going. Need a song like that, something not Coldplay, but like obviously that's Montreal song, but something that just gets the crowd just hitting that point. All right. So that's the homework. Find that song.
Yeah. You know what this song is for me always? And I remember, I think it was the 2003 Anaheim played New Jersey. 2003? Yeah, Anaheim, New Jersey. I covered that cup. Wally, I think you covered that cup too, right? 2003.
First 2 games. Yeah.
First 2 games. So those first 2 games, though, they were in New Jersey. We go to Anaheim for game 3. And they played this amazing mashup of Aerosmith's Dream On.
Ooh.
And all these little highlights from, the Ducks playoff run and everything. I was like, man, I would run through a wall for that. Like, I think about that for Ottawa. Like, if you could go Aerosmith's Dream On and think about all the great moments of this franchise's history and kind of mash them all together. And
yes,
Well, I like the meaning too. You dream on. You're dreaming of what could happen. So you got Mendez's Dream On.
Dream on.
Mendez doesn't want danger flutes. It's been a vote.
No.
That's what you said. That's what you said. You picked every other. You're like, oh, Vancouver's got this, and you don't want it. It's okay.
I like Dream On. That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. What's happening here? Am I just randomly?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
And it's from me, the reporter guy. How can we do better of telling and informing the media of injury updates?
This is a great
because here let me put this way, Ian. I mean, you know me well, you know both sides of this. David Perron has been out. He's played 4 games. There has never once been said what the issue is or how long it's going to be. I'm Travis may have said back at a later point, but we don't know anything.
Yeah. And, and it's a fair point because I think fans are looking at this from the perspective of we are investing in this team, whether it's financially, certainly emotionally. And so they're like, hey, if we're going to put in this type of equity, we would like some sort of reciprocal agreement where you're as transparent. And I understand that. I really do. And I think on certain injuries, though, like what's weird, I'll give you I'm trying to think what's a good example. It's like we've had some stretches where like media don't even ask.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Look at me. I'm blaming the media already. No, but
Mendez.
No. I'm just
You're like a disapproving parent right there. Mendez.
Do you know how many times we've asked the question and there's no update? No, and then suddenly they're playing the next day. So we stopped asking the question because we don't get any answers.
No, and I'm telling you, it's a fair point. Like, but there's some injuries where with guys like I don't know, guy could be back tomorrow. The guy might be back in a couple of weeks, right? Like, but no, that is a valid point. Like, I look at that too, and I think, what do fans want?
Yes.
What, like, they want more, what's the word? Transparency, right?
Transparency.
Yeah. So I would, like, if it were up to me, I would say, yeah, try to be as transparent. I thought we did a decent job. You could tell me, like, Linus left the game in Edmonton, and after the game, I mean, we could have just said upper body. We could have just said undisclosed.
Sure.
We said it was his back. Like, now, the thing about backs is, I don't know, like, Yorkie, didn't you used to do ads on the radio for physio?
Yes.
Yes.
I used to do.
Yeah. So,
God, I hate when you remember nonsensical stuff. Yeah.
The backs or whatever they are, right? Like, but I thought that there was a level of, as much transparency as we could give, was at least tell people what the injury was.
So the next time on the ice is the 27th after Christmas. What is that? 4 days? There was no update.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then we're like, is he going to be on the trip? I don't know. I just want, like, the same with Michael Amadio or David Perron. Like, there was never any, well, it could be long-term. Like, I don't think he skated for a month. So
you have him on your show?
Because he's injured, we haven't had him on because it's awkward for having to comment on, David, why aren't you playing?
Yeah.
Because if the organization doesn't want to release it, I don't want to make the player say what's going on.
You know what's tricky though about the backs, because sometimes the back gets sore, then it's a hip flexor thing, and then the hip flexor turns into a groin thing. Then you're talking. I do kind of get that, but I'll say this about players: when a player gets hurt, everybody knows what's going on because the league's so small now. It's so tight. Somebody knows somebody. And by the time it's game time, the next cycle, everybody knows why the guy's not playing. So it is kind of comical that in the NHL still doesn't disclose fully.
And I get it, which is why, like, I could tell you what the injury is to Anton Forsberg, but because it was never disclosed from the organization, I don't feel that I should be doing that. I just don't feel it's appropriate. And so I would just like the organization to just be a little more open about what's going on.
Okay. See, I will take this information, and now next time I'm in a meeting.
And I understand you don't want to give a timeline, because as soon as you say 4 to 6 weeks and it's 7 weeks, they're like, suffered a setback. I get that. But I think you can be like, well, it looks like it's going to be a couple of weeks here, or he's day to day. We're not sure, whatever. Just give us something on injuries.
No, look, it would be ridiculously like the hypocrisy from me to come onto this side of the fence and be like, you're not going to get, would be outrageous. So I understand it totally. I think, like I said, I thought we did a pretty good job on Linus, but again, people will say, like, no, that's not enough. But I understand it. And it's rooted in people just wanting, and it's not even about, like, I always see it, but people always will tell you, oh, the NFL has full transparency and it's because of the
betting.
Exactly. The wagering and all that. I don't know, like, if we will get to that point in the NHL where it's so so transparent on the injury reports, right? Like,
right. And I'm okay. Like, I get that. You can do upper body, lower body. We also have to understand with Linus or Stützle or Brady, when they're considered a core piece of your team, the access for information or the need to understand what's happening with a Vezina Trophy candidate possibly is a little more than, all due respect, Michael Amadio or Jacob Bernard, whatever. Like, so when we still don't know what happened to Michael Amadio, he got hurt. Looks like he may have suffered a concussion, but we've never had anything on Michael Amadio. Nothing.
Now I would have to go back and think, because I know Travis updated the situation. I would have to go back. I don't want to misspeak here.
Yep. And I may have missed it.
I think we did update it. And again, I don't want to misspeak. I think when we were in Edmonton,
concussion, I thought
we did, but I would have to go back.
I apologize. I didn't hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's not listed as injured. So again, it's like,
well, he's not, I don't think he's been placed on
IR.
IR.
Right. So it was just listed as I think it's a healthy scratch. Or anyway, we'll move on. That's my question
Oh
for
man,
today.
this is
Hey, this is getting salty.
this is salty. It's got salty in a hurry.
Well, as soon as I saw the Colonel Jessup clip from Few Good Men, I wanted answers.
Yeah. You can't handle the truth. Can't handle the truth. Okay, can I take? There's a question here. Can you ask if there's any possibility? This is from the G-Man. Can you ask if there's any possibility for the Sens to have their own streaming service for games? So this, to me, is going to be one of the most fascinating stories to watch in the next, we'll call it 12 to 18 months. Mm-hmm. So our regional deal with TSN expires at the end of next season. So the end of 25-26. Mm-hmm. That coincides with the national deal, by the way. Like the Sportsnet Rogers deal expires then. Our regional deal with TSN expires then. It's going to be a really interesting landscape. And I think we can all agree it feels like Amazon is ready to jump in and be a player here in a significant way, right? Like it feels that way. What I think is interesting, and I don't know that this would exactly be a perfect template for us because we're a Canadian team, so I think we'd be different than Seattle or Dallas or Utah. But a lot of those teams in the United States have taken, because of the whole sort of collapse of the regional Bally Sports and all of that, they've taken their own broadcasting under their own umbrella and said, you know what? Forget this. We're going to, like the Dallas Stars, for example, have their own platform. I think it's called Victory Plus. And all of their games are streamed to their fans very simply. You know, you can watch on your laptop, your TV, whatever. Just get the app. You're good to go. And they control everything. Seattle and Utah have something really interesting where they have a hybrid model. And I talked when I was as a reporter with The Athletic, I had a great conversation with Ryan Smith, the owner of Utah. And he just told me, look, our whole game right now is to get to as many people as possible. We're just trying to get eyeballs. So they decided to go free over-the-air streaming for all of their games. Like over the air with, you don't even need cable. All you need is an old school antenna. So the equivalent in Ottawa would be, imagine if in 2 years we just say, you know what? All of our games are going to be on CTV2, just as an example. And it's for free. And you don't have to pay for extra. As long as your TV has a tuner or an antenna, you're good to go. But what the Utah Hockey Club has done in Seattle is they've also paired that with a streaming service. So fans can also stream their games. And you're catering. The thing that Ryan Smith told me that this will always stick in my head. He said the biggest mistake that sports companies and leagues make is you think that there's only one fan. And it's 2024. You can actually cater to every fan. So if you have, let's say, an older fan that's 65 plus, they're going to be less likely to try to find the game on a streaming service. Or I know there was some frustration for them when our games are on Amazon Prime. Like, I get it. Like, if you're an older person, you're not going to be overly keen on technology. But that's where the over-the-air, showing of your games is a factor. The younger people are like, what the hell is this cable business? I just want to stream the games. Certain people watch the games because they only wager on the games. Like they're not really invested in the outcome. They're just more like, or from a team perspective. There's all sorts of fans, and you have the ability to cater to all of them. Now you can stream, you can go over the air, you can do, whatever. Like, so I think that's going to be the most fascinating thing. And Seattle, they have a deal. Like, I don't know if enough people know this here, but Amazon Prime is actually their streaming service. They stream their games on Amazon, and they show their games over the air on the NBC affiliate. And Amazon is able to sort of stream their games. And now part of that is because I think one of the minority owners of the Kraken is part of the Amazon group, and there was a synergy there. But it leads you to think about what are the opportunities if you get a traditional broadcaster in 2 years, but also a complimentary streaming option. Like that's, I think, what fans want.
Ian, it's interesting, especially the point you made about the younger fans, because if you want your brand to grow and you make it way more accessible to the younger fans that want to stream and want to do that, you get more eyes on your product. I think there's something to that. I really do.
Yeah.
Only matters if they pay for it, right? When you talk about Utah putting it out free over the air, you're losing broadcast rights.
So yeah, and so I asked Ryan Smith about that specifically. I said, how do you
Yeah.
monetize this? How do you justify and he's like, we make the money work. And I like, you know, I'd be curious to know how you actually make it work. But he says that they're able to make it work.
Wouldn't you get more eyes watching it? So if for your advertisers, if you'd have, it would be way more accessible to so many more people, and you'd have more eyes on it, wouldn't you?
It's sort of you would only be able to recoup the money later.
Yeah.
With rights fee, the rights fees of sports, of live sports, is the most expensive commodity all now of broadcasting. So, like putting it free over the air, it just is wild financially to me. But if you can make it work. Speaking of Utah, Mendez, and it's been in the chat a couple of times. This is touchy, but any chance we can discuss concession prices? Now, here's the reason why. If you were to lower prices, would you not sell more? So for me, and only speaking of Brent the fan in the seats tonight at the game, going, I don't want to pay and this number may be wrong, $20 for a beer, but I'd probably buy a couple at 10. And I know that seems weird, but I think it screams really high to me.
Yeah. So I know the Utah Hockey Club has announced
Atlanta.
$2. The Atlanta Falcons were kind of the first team to do this. I think the way we would look at this is would say, okay, but now bundle everything together. Bundle your ticket price together. Ottawa's ticket pricing is still significantly lower than most teams in the NHL. Certainly the lower, there's a lot of games you can get in the door at $40, $45. So when you start to put it together that way, the concession, I guess the question is, would you be happier with higher ticket prices and lower? Okay,
yes,
put it that way. You would be happy.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I still think ticket prices are too high. However, I am more likely to buy a $5 popcorn or a $4 hot dog. I would still, if I'm going to the game, I'm already at the game. Now I just don't feel like, and if this was a Brent to Ian conversation, I don't want to feel gouged at the concessions. I would pay for it if it was more reasonable.
I'm trying to get a picture of Brent the fan here.
Okay,
where's Brent? Brent the fan's up in the 300. He's got
Bell Club.
He's got his Send seat cushion. He's going to concessions. He's getting a extra salty pretzel.
I got my foam finger.
You're critiquing the play. There's no cheering. You're straight-faced, and you're just bitter up there. God damn, what's that guy doing on the ice again? For God's sake, they're going to lose again. Why do I come here?
I want a hot dog.
Things are too expensive.
I don't know, Ian. I don't know what to do. Anyway.
Oh, man. Okay, but anyway, so that's my question I'm asking people. Yeah. Would you do the trade-off then?
Yes. Yes, because then I have the choice if I want to buy the concessions or not. I don't want the bundle package. You just sell me the ticket, and then I get to decide if I want pretzels, popcorn, or pop, or if I want to pass because I think it's too expensive. That's what I'm saying. If you told me that the Atlanta pricing model has me more excited to go to a game because I feel like they consider the fans and not wanting to take more money ridiculously out of their pockets for a $5 bottle of water.
Yeah, again, Utah, the Atlanta Falcons. I think there's a couple other teams that have done it, right? And
even the 67s, do they not? They do something.
They do $5 beer, I think, right?
Yeah, right, just before the game or whatever. And I know sometimes you have retro nights where you do something to that effect, if I'm not mistaken, right before puck drop. I think you have $5 beers. Anyway, look at the ridiculous amount of hot dogs they sell at Blue Jay games.
See, and this was all a trick. This was all a trick. We had the fun intro coming in with you jumping up in the air.
I know this was supposed to be.
Do you know how long that took me to come on to pick that actual horrific song? I spent 3.5 hours yesterday.
3 hours on
find the song. Yeah.
Yeah. So man, so much of this is all danger flutes.
Yes. Well, it's people get passionate about what they want to experience at games, right? There's a little bit of nostalgia. There's this is what I'm used to. This is what gets me fired up. People want tradition.
Okay, Shoddy has written in here into the chat. Can we get Ray Emery in the Ring of Honor? I'd love to know what people think of the Ring of Honor. Like who do you want to see in there? Who do you think? I look at Ray and I put Ray in a category with some guys that I don't know that they had the body of work. I don't know was long enough in a Sens jersey to sort of
it's not.
It's a hard no.
spot in the Ring of Honor, but you know what I would love, and maybe this would be something more for like the downtown arena, is who wouldn't love some sort of Senators Hall of Fame, or Senator Museum, we'll call it, and in that museum, that's your chance to honor the Andrew Hammonds, the Ray Emerys, the guys that maybe their tenure wasn't that long, but boy, they had a lasting impact on the organization. I always think too, who wouldn't want to see in this fictitious museum that I built in my head? Who wouldn't want to see the Gladiator guys? Shield.
Yes.
I want a picture of the arm where he wrote the lyrics.
Ian, you press a button and he talks. You press the button and he says that thing that he said.
Sens fans, rise up.
Hey, and in the Hall of Fame, you have a big area where they celebrate the record for shots on goal in a game.
Do you have your stick from that the night you had your dozen shots?
There's a toilet with Bruce Gardner's stick in it.
There's a toilet with that in there. Yeah, you have Andre Waugh running around the dressing room nude in there, like a picture of that, like just crazy
eat burgers like Curtis Lazar.
Yeah, Lazar, a big picture of Lazar jumping on that burger.
Okay. This is way off topic.
Anyway, so
there's
there you go. That's an idea.
I think Ian, I think that's a great idea. I think that's I think the organization is at a point where there's all kinds of memories and artifacts and things. You could do something like that. I think it's a tremendous idea.
There you go. TM, tremendous.
There's your blackout question, Mendes. Where are we at with the blackouts?
Okay. I haven't seen it. Where's the question?
Someone asked about the progress on TSN blackouts, coming from Eric. It's apparently on social media.
Wally, we got to just to close up that Danger Flutes thing. We've actually got a poll on X right now.
You do.
Should the Ottawa Senators bring back Danger Flutes?
What are we at?
53% yes, 17% no, and 30% obviously. We got 133 votes in already too, in just 10 minutes. It's a hot topic.
It is. And so are the blackouts. And it is really one of the things that I hate the most is when I look at my feed sometimes on X after a game has started and someone has inevitably sort of tweeted at me and said, "Hey, I'm blacked out." Like that probably disappoints me more than anything in the world right now in my current job, is to think that somebody who loves our team, who lives in our city or our viewing region, can't watch the game. Like 2024 should be the most seamless, frictionless era of watching sports. And so when your own fans are being shut out, it's frustrating. Now, the good news is I feel like we've solved some of it for some people, but to me, until we've solved all of it for every fan, then we should always consider that we've got work to do. And the one thing I've tried to put out on social media, and if anybody's watching this or listening to this, and you're still dealing with the blackout issue, is the way that I've been told to solve this is you need to basically contact TSN, because TSN handles our regional broadcast. You contact them, and they got to start the ball rolling on, and I think it's called whitelisting your IP address, because this is what we've determined has been the issue, or the main culprit is, you might live in Canada, or you might live in Orleans or wherever, and the problem is whoever your home internet provider is, it might be spitting out an IP address that says you live in Toronto or Windsor or, you know, Kitchener or something. And so then when you go to watch the game, you know, the system's like, no, you're getting the Leafs game tonight because you're in Kitchener. You're like, no, I'm not. I live in, I can see the arena from outside my house if I step outside. So the way it was explained to me is, you know, contact TSN. There's a process in which they can help you get your IP address whitelisted. I would love to tell you I know exactly what that means. I'm not smart enough. Maybe somebody who is, you know, technologically savvy can explain it to us in the chat, and we can, or somebody who's had the issue resolved can explain it. But it's usually taken about 5 days, something like that, and then we see a little bit of an improvement for the people that do that. But still, it's an extra step for you to take. It's not what you want. But we're like, all I'm saying is, like, for me personally, until like every single person in our viewing area can watch a game, I'm not going to stop sort of banging the drum on it or trying to get the answers. But I just think it's really disappointing for them to have to deal with that.
Theo Man 613 just says the fix for TSN was pretty simple. Sent an email to TSN and took about 3 days to fix the IP issues. So there is but just so we're clear, and I don't know if I may have missed it. The TSN and Sportsnet do not set the blackout region or the blackouts. That's done by the league. Just so we're clear, the league is in control of what they say the regional broadcasts are. So I know they get yelled at every year for TSN and Sportsnet, but they are not the ones that are blacking out the games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's set. And I think the way that our broadcast region goes, it's like right around Belleville is the kind of the cutoff where if you live in the east end of that area of Belleville, wherever, you'll get the Ottawa games, and the west end you'll get the Toronto games. I think. Yeah,
it's somewhere there, and then all of the east, right? But sometimes not. Somewhere in like Newfoundland is different sometimes. Have you heard that one yet?
No, I have not.
Anyway. All right. We'll move on. Anything left? Why did the team skate yesterday after 2 days of playing? Excuse me. And do they have? And I'm assuming they have today off.
Yeah, I think they're not skating today in Dallas. I think they have the day off. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, I actually thought, oh yeah, for sure, back to back days. But you know, maybe New Year's Eve factored into it. To be honest, I don't know the rationale behind that one. But that would be one I would imagine that the players would probably be consulted on, right? Like, hey guys, you played in Winnipeg, you played in Minnesota, Yorkie, you know this. Like that's when you bring your leadership group in and be like, hey guys, what do you want to do? You want to kind of maybe skate and get a little bit of the lactic acid out of your body on the 30th, give you the 31st off, and then we go high tempo on the first and play. This is a weird one. I had a lot. I think Wally, you might have been one of the people who reached out and said, like, hey, are you guys coming home after playing in Minnesota? Like, it is a rarity to basically have 3 days off on the road in one city. Like, this is a real aberration, right? Like, Yorkie, can you remember very many road trips where you spent 3 days in one city without playing a game?
It's especially nowadays. It's so rare this happens. It usually happened in Vancouver, and I was excited for that. That would be the only time we'd always seem to stop in Vancouver for maybe 2 days, but three is extreme, especially in this compacted season, right? With everything they got going on this year. So it's surprising that they're able to do this. But hey, this will be good. This will be good for the team, though, to be together like this, and especially at a time when they got so many injuries and things going on. Hey guys, I finally figured it out. People were wondering. I thought I was sleeping. I'm on the chat. I'm in there, Wally. There's lots of people asking questions right now.
Wait a second. We're episode 306, and you have now figured out the chat?
I am in.
Wow. Yep. What a day. Yep. Mendez, you were here to witness this.
300 episodes in. That's all it took.
Wow. G-Man quickly asked the question, don't regional blackouts make no sense? Why do they want less eyes on the games? The reason that set this up in the first place was to not have people interfere in like the Toronto Maple Leaf market so that they can continue to have Leaf fans, and then the Ottawa market wanted to make sure that they weren't being bombarded by Leaf stuff. Although if you go to Sport Check, you see more Leaf stuff than you see Sens stuff. So that's how they didn't want other markets bleeding into their market, which is why they set up the blackouts. That's the simple reason.
Yeah. No, and again, like Brent said, like this is set by the league. Although, you know, there's a situation now, like we allow Montreal games into our viewing region and vice versa.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, but we don't do that with Toronto. But like, see, like I would say if you're an Ottawa fan, how would you would you want that as an Ottawa fan if we allowed Leafs are on TSN2, I think. Like, would Ottawa fans want that? Okay, every Toronto game comes on in our market in Ottawa, but you know, the Ottawa games are on in the Toronto market. I'd be curious. What would people
see? I think the more you try to limit or restrict people, it forces them to find it somewhere else, right? Like they're finding a forbidden fruit. Just open it up and let everybody. Like, if I want to watch a Leaf game, there's a way. Like, you could illegally stream it all you want, right? All you're doing is forcing people underground to go do it. Just, I would take out all regional broadcasts at this point. I would wipe out the blackouts.
Man, the comments in the chat are like I'm like 12 minutes behind. I'm trying to catch up. I love this idea from Graham like 12 minutes ago. He's like, you guys need a sponsorship deal with Costco to get the cheap hot dogs in the arena.
No.
What do you mean no?
Those are terrible hot dogs.
Who would say no?
Give me the IKEA hot dogs.
No, IKEA, you go to the meatballs. Costco's the hot dogs.
I'm just telling you, I understand what you're saying. I prefer the IKEA hot dogs. I don't like the Costco ones. They make me feel ill.
Oh man. Big B has his list of or they have their list of Ring of Honor people. Jason Spezza, Marian Hossa,
yes,
Zdeno Chara, Alex Daig, Danny Heatley, Sean McEachran, Randy Cunneyworth, and Jason York.
Now we're talking. That's what we're talking about.
That's called pandering.
That's what pandering. 100%.
Hey, listen.
If they really want to pander, they'll add a media wing and they'll put Brent and I up there. Then we'll be like, yes, we should be at a media Ring of Honor.
We have, and there's one picture we could use, but by the way, I think I've misplaced this picture of you, myself, and Eugene Melnyk at the Olympics in London.
Yes.
That should be the one picture that goes up. I quickly want to ask you before you go, is you got to become
I just got here.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time. You got to be a reporter bringing back the Spezza line or the pizza line. Your thoughts on what that day was like for you?
And by the way, I've been working very hard to get Danny Heatley will join your pod here. I know Brent is like, you are the worst human being of all time. I'm telling you,
waving the white flag over here.
We're getting the heater on, Ian.
What's that? Yeah, heater will come on your show. Trust me, I've talked to him. That window where he came to town, I think it was just bananas for him.
Yeah,
even leading up to it.
Show the kids, yeah.
But I said to him, look, like Wally and Yorkie want you on the pod. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. He says after the holidays, he's busy. So yes, we will lock that in to coming in hot.
Hey, for those that don't know, Heater's scouting for the Flyers, right?
Yeah. He's at the pro level, so he'll often and in so he lives in the California kind of SoCal area, so he'll often do Anaheim, LA. What's the AHL team there? Ontario,
the Ontario Reign, and there's the
Ontario Reign,
the Barracudas.
Yeah. He'll often do that sort of quadrant there. I think now that Arizona's out, he doesn't. I don't know that he goes to Utah, but anyway, he does a lot of that.
He was really good, by the way, when he was doing the question and answer period in the media thing. He was just honest. Remember the question like, how come you never came back? He's like, well, I was never invited.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Who gave the invite? Was it you Who was the one that reached out and made the call originally to Heater? Did they say, Ian, get on the phone and get the Heater in here?
Yeah. That I was given the sort of instructions of, hey, if you can make this happen, make it happen. And I was like, yeah, I think I have a pretty good relationship with Jason and a pretty good relationship with Danny.
Yeah.
And I reached out probably, I think I want to say it was like September, just to test the waters. And I'll tell you, the guy that like really helped, like Jason was the key on this, like Spezza, because
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I went to him in, where did we play an exhibition game against Pittsburgh? Sudbury. And I went to him in Sudbury, and I said, look, like there's an appetite from the organization to bring Danny back, and I'm just curious what your thoughts on that. He is like, man, you need to do that. And I said, well, what if we did it as a whole pizza line? He's like, that would be the best. He's like, you know, I just think we're ready to kind of come back. And I think you saw it genuinely in the way that they answered questions. They're like, they love their time in Ottawa. Like I think the one thing they look back at is they like, and I think all of us do too, like Wally and I covered those teams, is like, you just wish that they had won a cup, because the talent was there. The drive was there. Just, it didn't line up. Like the hockey gods didn't line. And that you'll always look back, I think, at that kind of 1999 to 2007, that sort of 7-8 year run, and say it was so great. And so to bring some of those guys back and, you know, kind of go down memory lane, I think it's important. Like, we don't have, again, we're not the Yankees and whatever, the Habs. So we don't have 100 years of history. We have 30 years. And if we don't celebrate it and appreciate it with the, you know, these fun little stories that we've had, and embrace sort of the colorful history that we've had, we're missing out. So to me, it was a really fun evening with those guys.
So when you first phoned and Heater answered, Heater, it's Ian here. Like, just take me through that little, like, how'd that go?
I don't even know, because I'll be honest, like, I had been, you know, let's say I've been in contact with him for 4 years, 5 years, where I'm texting him on a regular basis. So I was always trying to get him like, hey, would you be open to doing an interview with the Athletic? And he was always like, no, I you know, he's a little bit of a more private person that way. Didn't want to necessarily do anything, I think. But like so I think when Alfie went in the Hall of Fame, he did an interview with me. When Spezza retired, he did an interview with me. So I've had a relationship with him the last few years. And so I think I probably, I don't even remember, but again, I texted him and said, hey, you got a few minutes to chat, whatever. And then I phoned him, and like, I don't even think I got the sentence out of my mouth. And he was like, yeah, I would love that more than anything. I just want to come home. And so it was great. I think you saw a really appreciative guy.
I went into the box that night. You guys had the private box. We had the alumni were all there, and Heater was in a box with Spets. Nealer was down there, and Philly. Bunch of us came down, and Heater was genuinely touched that this came up for him, because we chatted about it, and he's like, this is great. He goes, I'm so happy that this is, because, you know, everyone always wonders, right, and how he left and all that, but I just think the timing was perfect.
Yeah, I think it was. And like, you know, I'd love to hear from, like, if there's other like players or figures from the past that you want to see come back in that.
Patrick Lalime.
Patty Lalime. What would you like for Patty? Like a drop the puck type of thing?
He can come. Yes. The only issue with Patty is he gets remembered for one game, if you will. And you and I sat many times in a seat in the press box in playoff games and watched him steal games and post 3 straight shutouts and shut teams down while Ottawa couldn't score any goals. And all we ever want to talk about is one game. I think he was phenomenal when he was here.
Yeah, I think if you look statistically, Patrick Lalime is one of the best playoff goaltenders of the modern era. Really, he is. And I know people will laugh and say, like, he's not, well, he is. Like, he gave the team goaltending, I think, that was good enough to win a championship. You know?
I agree.
I do. And it just, again, the stars didn't align, but people always, he gets the Bill Buckner treatment. Bill Buckner, if you're a baseball fan, Bill Buckner is one of the best hitters of his generation, and, you know, probably like a Hall of Fame type of player. But what do you think of when you say the name Bill Buckner? You think of Game 6 in 86, and it goes through the Wickeds. And the first thing you think of with Patty Lalime is you don't think of the 3 shutouts against Philly in 02. You don't think of the, whatever, $180 goals against average he had in his 45, 50 playoff games. You think of Game 7. And the story that people don't quite realize enough is like that guy was basically playing on one knee, one leg, and he gutted it out because, it was Game 7, and that's the type of guy he was. And I'm with you. I'd love like he would rise to the level of Ring of Honor for me, but I understand that if he doesn't for other people, right. I totally get that.
Right.
But man,
I just want him to be remembered differently.
So
and he doesn't want to come on the show, which is disappointing because I think he's just been a little disappointed in maybe the treatment he's gotten or doesn't want to relive it. But I have all the respect for Patty. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't know if it's, I just think because he's in the broadcast business right now, I think he's just nervous of doing any pod. I chatted with him about it because sometimes you go on pods and everybody remembers what happened to Jeremy Roenick, and guys are still nervous about that, but saying the wrong thing. And I think that has more to do with it because Patty is, and I know Patty well. We were pretty tight when he played here. Went on a couple trips together. He is, anybody that knows him, I know you guys know him really well. He's a phenomenal guy, and I do agree with Ian. One game shouldn't define you because even that 1 year, how many shutouts did he have that 1 year? And like he had,
it's three in a row against Philly, and then I'm pretty sure he shut out Toronto in Game 1 or 2 in 02. Like it was like 5-0, I think, in Game 1. Like I think he lost a 1-0 game. Wally will remember this. Ruslan Fedotenko scored an overtime goal, I think, for Philly to give them a Game 1 win.
Okay.
Right?
We still haven't seen it.
And then I think he had 3 straight shutouts. Then they won Game 5 on a Marty Havlat overtime goal. And then I think they shut out Toronto like 5-0 in Game 1 in 2002.
Yeah, it was 5-0.
5-0. I think Hossa scored a great goal where he kind of
4 shutouts in 5 games.
Yeah. Like that just doesn't happen. I know it was a little bit of the dead puck era, but it still doesn't happen where a goalie gets 4 shutouts in the Stanley Cup playoffs in a week. But basically had 4 in a week. And
they, like it's not like they were getting 6 shots a night. Anyway, his playoff numbers for Ottawa, 21-20 with a 177 goals against average, 5 shutouts, and a 926 save percentage. Those are amazing. Who wouldn't take those numbers?
926 and 177 are the 2 numbers you need to know. Wins and losses you don't control as a goalie, but $177 and 926, that's
he did his part.
Guys, here's one. I'm on the chat here. I'm getting this off the chat right now.
This is gonna be a 4-hour show.
We've got Chris brings up a good point here. Mike Fisher deserves Ring of Honor. 12 seasons. Incredibly handsome. And was a really good player. Like he was a really good player here for a long time.
Apparently,
I think it's the whole package.
Yeah. Patty Lalime.
Well, if looks are a part of it, I'm going to go start putting the Pinto mural up right now. Listen, Mike Fisher is a guy that, again, and I think he was really community oriented in his time here. He loved his time. And you start to look at games played in Ottawa. Like he's up at what, Wally, like around 600 games with the Senators?
Yeah, I'll tell you in a sec the official number.
And, like when you start playing 500-600 games with a franchise, it's at least I think you have the conversation about where they fall in your legacy. And no one's talking about a jersey retirement, but, acknowledging his impact and role.
Because you can't win, because you got like that team, this team hasn't won. It's tough to go, let's put jerseys up and people in the Ring of Honor because the history just isn't. But there's been a lot of guys to do a lot of good things in this. Like even Radek Bonk, I think, deserves more attention than he gets. Mike Fisher, 7th all-time in games played, 675 games, 348 points, which puts him 10th right now.
Yeah.
Points. He had a great career.
Yeah, he absolutely did. So I love it. One fan said you got to bring Kasper's Doggovins back.
Oh yes, I'm on board for that.
But instead of a ceremonial face Face off. We have him come out and do his little shootout move one more time.
Backward stick, yeah. And then skate by the bench and bark at all the guys on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
I know you can't divulge much of information of your future projects. Is there talk of doing a behind the scenes show? And
so
I know it was in here somewhere. Third jersey discussions. Can you just tell us what it's all about and what it looks like, and tell us exactly everything and show us the
Sorry, I have the prototype right here. No, what's interesting is that we, Cyril Leader and I did a little roundtable with season ticket holders earlier this month. I think it was in December. And Cy basically told people, and I didn't even know this, he said that in the prototype for the new third jersey for next season, there is an element of the Peace Tower logo on like more of a, like, I think on a patch type of thing, but that's one thing he was willing to divulge sort of in a public forum, which I didn't even know. So I thought, okay, well, that's one thing that maybe fans that weren't at that season ticket holder event would be curious about. And then what's the other thing you asked about is a behind the scenes. So here's what my hope is obviously you saw the news last week that Amazon is going to be focusing on Brady Tkachuk as part of their face-off series. Like, I really hope that this opens the door sort of for us to be a little bit more open in that realm and to tell the story. That people love that stuff. Like, they absolutely love that stuff. And so I think this is great for Brady. I think this is great for us as an organization because, you know, Amazon's got a huge reach. And if you think about our ability to have our brand and Brady's brand out there to, you know, all of North America, like that's huge, right? Like, but it opens the door hopefully for people to say like, yes, I love that. And I want that. And I want to do more of that, or I want to see more of that. So yeah, for me, I think if we can do some of the storytelling, and I think, again, I'd like to think that that's where my skill set comes in, where Sylvain St. Laurent's skill set comes in, is that we're content guys, and we would love to sort of not push the organization, but like open up the idea of doing that and so us controlling it. And
sorry, Ian, who approved? Like, do you or the organization have to approve Brady being on Amazon?
I mean, we had a conversation about it, and so, you know, Steve Staios was involved. You know, obviously Brady was involved, and yeah, I mean, I don't know how it works in terms of like, if we, like, again, we didn't have to go through this. Like, if we said no, if Steve Staios said no and Brady said yes, I don't know what would happen. But instead, it was more of a collaborative conversation where, you know, Steve and Brady talked about it. I spoke with Brady about it. I spoke with Steve about it. And we just all agreed that this is a really unique opportunity, and we believe that you know, we have a really compelling story to tell, and here we are sitting on New Year's Eve. You know, hopefully this goes the way we want it to go, and wouldn't that be a great story to tell from behind the scenes of this team busting out of what will, you know, is a 7+ year playoff drought, and you get some access to behind the scenes stuff, right?
Yep, I agree. Like, there's one thing, Mendez, you and I know, traveling around the country or around all these teams, there is a huge thirst for content in Ottawa. Like, Sens fans eat up Sens content like crazy. I think it's one of the busiest or most vocal, if you will, content bases there is. They just love seeing stuff. And so I'm with you on producing any of that.
Do you want to know who called me last year with this same thing we're talking about right now? And he works for a production company. The Daigle. The Daigle's like, the Sens got to do a show like this. They got to do one of those shows. He goes, it's going to be great. Ottawa's a small market. He's a smart guy. Daigle was on this early. Oh, by the way, Ian, by the way, Eric has chimed in on the chat. He wants to go old school. He wants a Senators charity firefighter style calendar. And you could get your boy Shane Pinto on there, Ian, because I know
it'd just be all 12 pages of Shane Pinto.
All 12 months. Shane Pinto.
Just winking at Mendez.
Yeah.
Okay, Mendez.
Well, that's
I've had enough of you. Yes.
He wants more.
So we'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
Shall we? Happy birthday, by the way. A little belated.
Yeah, but this stuff is, like, to me, this is great. And people can tweet at me. No problem with ideas, but like I said, let them come and do this on a whatever monthly basis.
You have to. I made an opening. See how much that cost me? I had to get the rights to that song.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. We'll do it again soon. Happy New Year.
We'll Happy New Year, guys.
Soon.
Happy New Year, Ian. Thanks, man.
Oh, guy doesn't want to stop talking.
I know he misses it. He misses the media. He just took a while. He was all business when he first came on. You got a little salty with him, and we loosened him up. We got into the mailbag. But hey, I'm excited. We got some good content coming out. I loved the Mendez intro. And Wally, I was mentioning to you, we've got a very good, what do we call it? Another little fun Sens themed video we're working on right now. Eric and I behind the scenes got something. It's probably going to drop here by tomorrow, and we'll get it out to people. It's going to be a little controversial. Might upset some people, but I know people love their content, so we're going to give it to you. Eric's diligently working on it right now. If he ever gets off the chat, I think he's got the most ideas on there.
Quickly, I want to take care of some business. We want to get to Charlie with the USA Canada game. I want Charlie to give us the pick of what is a pivotal game tonight.
She's on it.
And we'll quickly set up some other things. Okay, so take care of BEI, please.
Taking care of BEI. BEI, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. What's so funny?
Now I can taking care of business is in my head as you
taking
do
care
this
of
read.
Business for equipment rentals, aggregate topsoil sales, the hot pave mix your driveway. So when you're planning your next project, consider BEI for all your aggregate supply needs. Hit them up at PunisherExcavating.com. BEI Free Hockey Fridays is going to start up again this week. It's back after popular demand. So there you go. BEI. Please slow down in construction zones, everybody, especially over the holidays. Lots of kids out playing with their new toys.
BEI helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. And of course, as always, by our proud presenting sponsor, Bet365, our proud partner of Coming In Hot. Open an account today, Bet365. And bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code NATION. Must be 19 years of age or older. Please play responsibly. Download the app today. And on the app today, by the way, the Rangers lost again last night.
Surprise.
And they were up 3-2. The Pittsburgh Penguins play the Detroit Red Wings tonight. A Pittsburgh win puts them back, takes the wild card spot, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they would move a point ahead of Ottawa in the Ottawa has 2 games in hand. They'll have 3 after tonight, but yeah, they will temporarily be relocated, if you will.
They're just hanging around.
Pittsburgh's on fire.
I know. They got talent there. It's just if they can beat you, it's just those talented guys gotta to play the right way. So yeah, they're going to be interesting. This is going to be a fight right up into the finals. Those last 2 wild cards positions, Wally. Think of it this way: as well as Ottawa's played as of late, they haven't got a lot of separation from those teams behind them. Like they're just nipping at their heels right now.
And that's the problem. That's why we keep saying in November at Thanksgiving, if you're not in a playoff spot, it's tough to start leapfrogging teams.
Yeah.
And so a little bit happens, but not a lot. And that's why I think Ottawa makes the playoffs. I don't think they're going to give that spot back.
Well, the way they're playing, I sure like their chances, and just hold the line, just like in Braveheart there, hold. Just wait till Ullmark gets back, hold the line, and just don't try and lose too much ground here.
Since November 25th, by the way, we always go back to that because that's when Ottawa started to kind of turn things around. Ottawa 5th in the league at a .719 winning percentage. The same, by the way. Oh, we do. Oh, there we go. This is for the Eastern Conference, but overall, Ottawa 5th in the league, Pittsburgh 6th in the league. And if you look here, in Eastern Conference records, Ottawa and Washington tied at the top. The Sens still have the best save percentage and goals against average in that group. And then Pittsburgh is at 3. Like, they're not going away quietly. That is
it's too bad. It's too bad we couldn't use tunes right now, because that is a great song by the Cars. Let the Good Times Roll.
Great band. Yeah.
Right in your wheelhouse, eh, Wally? That's classic rock.
Yeah. I love it. So, you know what? Also, but when you do that by the cars, I always tend to, for some reason, go to is it Gino Vanelli in Black Cars?
Yeah.
Another great
Black
tune.
Rick Ocasek, singer for the Cars, holds the record for maybe the not best looking guy dating above his weight class.
Yeah.
He used to date that supermodel or married her. I forget what her name was. He was a weird looking guy. You remember those videos? He was very strange. Great singer though.
Okay, so tonight. Well, actually, you know what? Before we get to Charlie, we'll pick our tomorrow the final game of. No, it's not the final game. Ottawa. It's the first game of the new year. Ottawa in Dallas. The Stars, by the way, haven't been great at home of late. Yeah. I think they've only got 2 wins in their last 5 games at home. Who are you taking? We did see Artem Zub skating. I don't think he plays tomorrow, and I don't think Anton Forsberg plays against the Stars, but maybe.
Wow. What? And then they're going back to back with St. Louis tomorrow, eh? I sure would like to take the Sens in this one. I'm looking at Dallas, waiting the goaltending, or you'd have to think that Marilhaven's going to be starting in this one for sure. Like he'll get the start again. I want to pick Ottawa, but I'm going to take Dallas, and I think Ottawa gets it done in St. Louis. So I'm going to take Dallas in this one.
I'm with you, but I don't like. There's been a little separation in the Challenge Cup after the last game, with the Winnipeg game. So,
well, you took Winnipeg. I took the Sens, but you took Minnesota.
But Charlie did too.
Oh yeah, Charlie's coming up hot, eh?
Well, wait a second. Minnesota game. Do we do a wild game? I can't remember. Charlie lost.
Charlie didn't pick any. Didn't select in that game.
We both took the Sens, and you took the Jets. That's why.
No, I took. Charlie and I both took the Winnipeg Jets to win that game, and you took the Sens in that game because
I'm going back to the tape. Okay,
go to the tape.
I'm taking the Sens because I'm concerned about this game like you. I just need to try and catch you, so I got to take the Sens.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. I liked Marilhaven's game. I'm looking at the
It's a pretty good Dallas team.
It's a really good Dallas team. They're at home. Again, and I made this point a couple shows ago. If Ottawa's power play can continue to do what they're doing, and at 5-on-5, just don't beat yourselves. I do think I think they can win, but the logical side of my brain is saying Dallas is going to win this one.
By the way, the Stars are just a 500 hockey team in the last month. If you go to the November 25th, 8-7-1. I think in the last 18 games or something, they're 500. Anyway, I'm gonna take an Ottawa victory. All right. So tonight,
sorry, Wally, has Dallas played since the break? For sure they have. I'm trying to see their last game. Dallas's last game.
I can tell you they have. I think they played the first game out of the break. They played the 27th and the 29th. They overtime loss to Minnesota Wild on the 27th, and then they beat the Chicago Blackhawks 5-1. I don't know why people say Chicago or Detroit. They won in Chicago.
How bad is Chicago right now? Like, geez, good thing they fired Luke. Like, as if that was good. Like, come on.
I know.
I know you're trying.
I feel like there was something else going on, possibly. If it seems weird to me to be firing a guy that you knew when you came in was going to be your rebuilding coach, but whatever. Anyway,
and he's doing a great job. Like he's trying to teach these guys how to play the right way.
Well, but remember, Connor, there was the whole thing about Bedard not in a sophomore slump, not playing great, couple of lineup decisions that were questionable or whatever.
It's extremely tough for today's NHL coach when you get a player like that and you have to play him. The whole league is counting on him being the guy that, like, they're promoting him right now. The Winter Classic's all about coming and watch Connor Bedard. He's not having a great year. It's just got to be tough because you watch him play and it'll be interesting to see what type of player he turns into because I look at his skating compared to the other stars in the game.
Yeah.
And the skating needs to get to a different level if he's going to be a generational player. And I don't know if it's ever going to get to that level.
We'll find out. By the way, do you care about the outdoor game on January 1?
If I was going, it would be unbelievable as a fan. The outdoor game to me, it's in your home city. It's exciting for that to go there. But for everybody on the outside, no, who cares?
Not anymore.
But for the players, it's still cool.
Yeah.
Especially the guys that have kids and families. It's a great spectacle. There is a danger element to it though, Wally. We've seen this in the past because when you're playing in a different environment, it's your instincts are off a little bit. But it is very cool. I never got a chance to play in one. I only played in a charity one at Iberwin Stadium during one of the lockouts. This is actually kind of funny. Do you remember Mike Vanderjet, the kicker?
Mike Vanderjet for the Argos.
Yeah, and he kicked for the Colts for a bit. So we had a charity game there.
Isn't he the one that got drunk? Our idiot kicker got drunk. But remember Peyton Manning? Was that who? I think that's who he was talking about.
Yeah, that's who it is. That's who it is.
Yeah.
That's who it is. So we this is actually a funny story. We went to Vanderjet's house the night before, and he lived just outside of Hamilton. Man, he had every single ball that he had kicked. He had this great house. We had a party there, and we all played Texas Hold'em. And Canadian Daniel Negreanu, who is the Texas Hold'em guy, was there, and we played Texas Hold'em with Negreanu. And I went heads up with Negreanu at the last we're playing. It's like it was a fun game, and I think I bluffed him out, and then he was out. But then for the rest of the night, Negreanu dealt for us and commented on how to play, and he was awesome, like such a good guy. And he was at the height of his Texas Hold'em winning days when he was really, really popular. But it was so cool. But then in the game the next day, Vanderjet had to kick a field goal on the ice, and they had a big mat out there. So he gets out there, he goes to kick it and wipes out, falls right on the ice. Oh my God. It was so windy. It was crazy. But that's the only time I've ever got to play outdoors. But the point is, it's weird. I'm always a little nervous for some of the players because like I said, it's a different environment and the chance of injury goes up.
Can we just go for the fact that you just passed over that you beat like the world champion Texas Hold'em player? Like you just nonchalantly go, I beat him. He was out.
I was a pretty good player back in the day, Wally.
So in all poker or just like Texas Hold'em? Like what, was there anything in particular or anything?
Well, we played Hold'em on the plane nonstop. Like we just played. It was back then. Everybody in the NHL was playing, but no, it was everybody was in this big game. And it was if you lose, you're out. And then I get into a pot, and Negreanu and me are there, and he looks at me. I look at him. He's waiting. He's kind of bullying the table. He's going around. He's and guys, I'm out. I'm like, you know what? I want to see what you have. We flip him over, and I ended up beating him. It was lucky, but then I just love the part after Daniel just dealt for us and was commenting on everybody's hands. He was actually picking what guys had before they flipped. It was really cool to actually play with an unbelievable poker player.
Wow.
So no, super good guy.
Because I heard that Travis Green may be the best poker player in the National Hockey.
Greener's good. Yeah, no, I heard that about Greener
you and
too.
him, we're going to set it up head to head.
I haven't played in a while. A little rusty.
Quickly, Canada plays the U.S. tonight. Huge game, obviously. Lots of implications of where they're going to finish. I know you're still bitter about Canada cutting you. Are you picking a winner in this one?
I think Canada's going to win, Wally. I just think they haven't played their best yet. I think their team is built more like I watched some play. Like nobody really jumps out of the page at me on that team. I don't think they've played particularly well lately, and I think they're going to bring it tonight against the U.S. The U.S. always brings the best out of Canada, so I think it'll be a tight game, but I think Canada gets it done.
I think it's a USA. I think the U.S. is a better team, and I hate to pick against them, but I just think that they're a better group that will. Canada can't score goals.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be more of a don't beat yourself game. Like you don't turn the puck over. The Canada knows exactly what they're facing. I think they'll be I think Dave Cameron will have these guys well prepared for this game. And this is so. If Canada loses this game,
yeah,
do they fall to fourth? Because I think it's going to go.
No.
US will finish first. Latvia's getting in.
Yeah. I had it all written down. But
Finland's going to be in, right?
if Latvia and is it Finland and Latvia, if they go to overtime,
yes,
then Canada finished second in the pool. If Canada wins, I think they finish first, but if they lose to the US, they can still finish second. If Latvia
they just don't want to play US the next game, which I'm not sure can happen because you don't want to have that happen. Like, I think it'd be great.
I think they play Sweden. If there's a crossover, I think it's Sweden.
Oh, they do crossover. Okay.
I think
I want to see them play Latvia again, to tell you the truth. I want to see that goalie again.
That was you know what? I watched the Kazakhstan game a bit yesterday, and it was at TD Place. They were down 4-2 to Slovakia. Kazakhstan gets a 5-minute major with like 5 minutes to go, maybe less. They score 2 shorthanded goals and tie it up and send it to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Like, that's why
I
love junior hockey.
You know who knows a lot more about junior hockey than I do, Wally? Charlie. Charlie likes her junior hockey.
Here we go with Charlie's choice of today's big game between Canada and the USA.
All right, Charlie. You're a proud, true Canadian born in Cobden, Ontario, Canada. Tonight, we've got the World Juniors, Canada versus US, always a big game. So the question is, who are you picking tonight to win this hockey game? Do we have Team Canada or Team USA? And there you have it. Charlie, a very proud dog, going with Team Canada.
Great job. Great job.
Cobden, Ontario. Came from a place called Hubert's Pups. It's no longer in business, Wally. Might have been a puppy mill. I'm just saying. Just saying.
By the way, you can claim Charlie's treats now and stuff.
It's a business expense.
Yeah.
It's a business expense. Yeah. Well, she knows now she's now like golden doodle. She's a pretty smart dog. She doesn't just know like betting's just part of what she does. When I put those emblems down, she knows it's time to get to work.
It's like the littlest hobo.
It's your favorite part of the day.
You bark. There's somebody in a well over there. You need me to go get? Oh, okay. Love the littlest hobo. All right. Do you have New Year's resolutions? Are you a resolution kind of guy?
I used to be. Nothing. I got nothing. I get to the gym more. Quit eating chocolate.
No, you got to have a little bit of fun in your life.
Oh, well, I've been pounding sweets and cakes and s'mores pies and pecan tarts. It's been a, you know what? I gotta get it. I've put on probably a solid 6 pounds over the holidays. I gotta cut it out. So my New Year's resolution is to try and give up sugar after 12 noon every day. Stop.
Really?
Okay. Sugar's it's probably the worst thing for you, Wally. So I gotta cut out sugar in my diet. There's my New Year's resolution. What about you?
I need to be in much better shape than I am. I know that.
Yeah, you're kind of like a bag of milk right now.
Well, you've referred to it many times on this show. So yeah. I need to get in better shape. And we have a trip planned now, so I want to be better, look better going on the trip. I'd like to have more clothes fit me.
I thought you had like a moment there. I thought you're going to say, you know what? I need to be a jollier person. I thought that's what you're going to say.
No, why would I say that? No, absolutely not. You don't want me to change. You should love me for who I am.
Yes, we do. We do.
All right. See you on January 2nd. At this point, I don't even know what days they are. So we're back January 2nd.
Take care, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.